morning. Welcome to the Mahwah Public Library. My name is Joan. I'm your yoga instructor today. We're going to start seated since everybody in the room that you can't see are already seated. So we're going to stay in our seated, comfortable seated position. Wiggle and move and adjust yourself until you feel like you're really level and balanced. The weather has been very erratic, and it can wreak havoc on your body, your sinuses, your head, your joints, your lungs. So if you have a particular thing that you feel at the start of the class is creating tension, pain, stress, discomfort, just close your eyes and just feel that. Just sit with it for a minute. And then ask yourself for permission to let go of it. Sometimes we unconsciously hold things and we don't even know. And just begin to really focus on the breath. Bring more oxygen in. As you're breathing in, visualize almost like it's a glass of seltzer with little bubbles. And you're bringing all those beautiful bubbles of air in. And as you breathe it in and you settle it, you ask your body to take what it needs to the spot that's in discomfort. So you have to visualize. So if you have a tight neck, a tight head, whatever, visualize that you're sending that oxygenated blood to that spot. And as you inhale, start with a 4. So you're going to inhale to 4, and then you're going to exhale. Now see if you can get to 8, but if you can't exhale to 8, pick any variation, 5, 6, 7, until you can get to 8. So we'll do 3 rounds of your own breath. Now, try to find where the breath is originating. So you really want to bring it down, and also pay attention to where your chin is. So if your chin is forward, bring it down. If your head is up, level it out. If your jaw is clenched, soften it by placing your tongue behind either the upper or lower teeth, whichever one feels more comfortable. Lift up, settle down. And take a breath. Now, your eyes can be closed or they can be soft, looking at a distant spot. In yoga, that's called a drishti. That just means that you're using your eyes as a place of focus, but you don't want to overly strain the muscles of the eye. So you're going to take a breath in and really notice where the breath starts. It's going to be different as you start than it will be at the end. So we inhale 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go to 6. 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll exhale 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 4, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And do another one at your own rate. So do your own count and really soften more deeply internally. And now just rock a little the shoulders. And a little tiny circle. So just stir the pot. Begin to bring to yourself that sense of grounding down into whatever position you're sitting in that's comfortable for you. And then pause and reverse your circle. And then pause, hands to the knees or to the floor, whichever's more comfortable for you. Shoulders down, lift up, but don't throw your head back. Big breath in, and then exhale with a ha, curl it back. And really stretch out through the back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. One more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Come to neutral, little stirring of the pot. 3, and then 3 the other way. And then you twist to one side. I'm going right. Now keep this front shoulder down and don't go too far because we're starting small. We still have to warm up. Relax the jaw. And then switch and take a breath. And notice the spots that are tight. And soften it. And go back to the original side. Work less. Now, when you lift up, see if you can go a little more. Relax into the stretch. Don't muscle it. And then opposite side. And you inhale and you just soften. And then last time, take a breath, you lift and you go only as far as is comfortable for you. And release and go the other way. And then come back to center, stir the pot. See if you feel like the circle is a little more fluid. 3. And then reverse. Good, stretch it up, big breath. Exhale, curl back. 2 more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let it go. Stir the pot. Now, we're going to work on hips. Hips are all about the connection to the shoulders. So shoulders are tight, hips are tight, and vice versa. It's also about moving forward. See, keep going. We're going to go until 6. 4, 5, 6. So if you feel like you're stuck in a thought, reverse your circle, stuck in a behavior, you're not breathing deeply, you're stuck in something, you want to pay attention to how you feel through your hips and shoulders. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So we've been sitting for a while, so we're going to come off and just let our legs be long and stretch them out. Stretch out the legs and just massage your hips. Now, if you have knee or hip replacements, you want to be mindful of what works for you. If you need a hip or knee replacement, if you have injuries in your knees or hips, you're mindful. You do only what works for you. Do the tops of your thighs, warming up the legs. Inside of the legs, make sure you get your knees, backs of the knees. Lift your legs, and you're going to use your hand like a comb, and you're going to comb the hamstrings. So we want to warm up the body before we move it. And then front, back, sides of the calf. And opposite side. And then bottom and top of the foot, just kind of warm it up a little bit. Do the back of the heel. So you run your thumb and your index finger up and down the back by the Achilles heel. Warm that up. Massage into the ankles. And make sure you get both sides. And then same thing, make sure you get the back of the heel. Notice if the heel is really tender, sore, tight. and then the ankles. Good. Now feel your legs. See if they feel different. Let's start to rock a little bit. We'll open up through the sitting bones. And then settle and see how that feels. Notice your posture. Now, I'm going to take my left foot since I'm facing this way, and I'm going to bring my left leg in, and I'm just going to relax it. So I'm going to stretch this right leg and use this as a little weight. If my leg doesn't comfortably and I have a block, I can always put a block underneath, and I rest it. Now, soften the shoulders. Notice if the shoulder's leaning forward or back. Take a breath. Ask yourself, how do I feel here? Feel the hip. How is it making contact with the mat? Soften the shoulder. Let the hips soften. See if it just comes down, so mine just released. Now take the leg and the foot and slide it down the extended leg and see if that leg's just a little longer already, and wiggle it. And then you don't have to move. You're going to bring the opposite leg and you bring it in. Now bring it to where it's comfortable and see how this feels. Pay attention to the shoulders. Where's your chin? Soften the jaw. Take a breath. So I can feel as I'm sitting here, my left shoulder is tending to roll forward. So I have to say to myself, okay, what am I holding here in the shoulder that I have to be in charge of? So right now, I don't have to be in charge of anything. I have to be in charge of the class, and then you breathe. And then slide the leg down and hopefully they meet. Bring the feet up and just begin to rock. So lift up. Now be mindful, you don't want to overstretch the front. You want to just lift through the chest, but don't throw the head back, and just begin to soften into the hip flexors. See how they feel. I'm going to roll my legs, so I'm going to rest on the inside, outside edges of the feet, going toward the right. And I need some space. And then I'm going to roll the other way. And I'm going to hold it, because I want the body to find the place that's tight and soften it. And then I rock again and see how that feels. I'm going to bring my heels up, because the heels hold the acupressure point for your pelvic girdle. So if your heels are tight, we want to just activate them a little bit. Good. Release your feet. Take a measurement. Sit up tall. Take a breath. Soften it. Good. Slide the soles of the feet together, and I'm just going to rock a little bit here. Just a little bit. Notice what goes on in the jaw. I can come forward, and now I can add to it. Keep the head in line with the spine. So watch me a sec. It's not this where the head is moving separately. You want to keep the head nice in line with the spine. Good. Slide the hands down. Pause. Take a breath. Now remember, the psoas muscle comes right here into the hip crease, and it comes up the side and into the diaphragm. So you don't want to overstretch, but you don't want it to be tight either. So we lift up. Now lift the knees and curl, and then open, lift the head, but don't throw the head back. Soften the jaw. curl, and lift, and curl, and lift. Good, rock a little bit. Release the legs, see how they feel. Stretch forward. Now, when I stretch forward, I don't want to collapse here. That defeats the purpose. So I want to lift up, flex the feet, soften the knees, and just invite the lower back to soften. Sink the shoulders. Don't let them creep up. Come forward a little bit. Relax the jaw, soften the legs. Come up. Take a breath. Exhale, move a little more, maybe. Inhale. And exhale. And even if it's a tiny scooch more of space, that may be all you need. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take a breath. Exhale, let it go. Inhale first and then exhale, and then come back. Good. Bring that right leg in. I'm going to hug it. Now, when I hug it in, remember, and I've said this before, you don't want this. This means I have no space for my leg, so I want to widen it. So the heel is a little bit toward the outside edge of the buttock. I want to sit up. I want to breathe. My left hand comes out, extends from the hip, and I'm going to rock it. Take a breath. Don't clench your jaw. Good. Release that. Slide the leg. Let it rest for a breath. See how it feels now. And slide it down the leg. And see if it's even a little longer. I got more space out of that. Opposite side. Leg comes in. I breathe. I hold gently. Hand comes out. Now remember, isn't going to work. You want to soften it. You want to be internally strong, but relax the top of the shoulder. And now rock here. Breathe. Release stuff that's tight. Good. Pause. Release the legs. See how it feels. Maybe it feels better. Roll your head. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Slide that leg long. Good. Come forward any amount. See if it feels different. And then come back. Good. So we'll go into our first variation of a pigeon. Now remember, pigeon pose is really great for opening the hips. When you do it on the mat with your body weight into it, it could be too much for your joints. So you want to find the variation that works for you. This is the first variation. We cross it over like the number 4. You can hold the foot, hold the ankle, hold the toes, sit up, take a breath, and you rock. And soften it. So what's your jaw doing? How do your eyes feel? What's going on in the back of your throat? What's going on in your shoulders? How do your hips feel? Where is the breath? Are you breathing? Now, I'm going to let my right elbow rest on the inside of the thigh, and I'm going to bring my right hand not to the shoulder, it's too high. I'm just going to glide it down, and I'm going to move forward into it a little bit. And I'm going to invite this shoulder to come back and down. Move your head, make sure your neck's not tight, and ask yourself, what are you holding here? It could be as simple as a heavy bag. A person, a memory, a frustration, an annoyance, I don't know, the world. You could pick whatever. It could be a multitude of things. Grief, anger, frustration. But soften it, because in this moment, you're dedicating your time to you. And then you release that, and you slide the leg down, and you see if it's longer again, and then opposite leg comes in. And you rest it, and you rock. Let's see how this feels. And then elbow rests and hand comes to this right side, and I soften it down and I reflect. So we want a calm and reflective mind. What am I holding here? How does it feel that's different than the other side? What can I let go of? Good. And release and maybe rock a little more and see how that feels. Good. And then release that and let it go. Measure your legs. Take a breath. Inhale, slide. Maybe a little more space. Looks great. I can see already different. And then come back up. Soles of the feet together. Rock it out. Now, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So we're just going to slide our legs to one side, come up onto our hands and knees into our table. Line your hands, wrists, shoulders, knees, and hips. Head is an extension of the spine. Tuck the belly up and just tuck your toes first. And now we're just rock a little bit. So see if you can stretch out if the feet are tight, the calves are tight, the hamstrings are tight, the quads are tight. Let's just stretch it. Be mindful of your knees. If this doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Sit back when you're ready. And if you choose, you can rock it. Now feel that movement through the hips and lower back. Feel that movement through the shoulders. Gaze is to the floor, jaw is soft, eyes are soft, throat is soft. Tongue is pressing at the bottom of the lower teeth. And I'm kind of releasing through the jaw. Good. Come back up to neutral. We're going to come right into our dog and cat. So I inhale and I lift up and I release the feet and I flatten them and I curl up. And I start small maybe, and I inhale and exhale at my own rate into the expression of the curve of the stretch that's most comfortable for me. And I move it back and forth, and I find the rhythm of the movement, and I move it to the rhythm of the breath, inhaling on the lift of the head, and the curl is when I exhale. Pause at neutral, feet are flat. Now rock it back and forth. Flatten the spine if you can, and breathe. Now, if you can, sit back. Rock it here. See how that feels. Walk your hands as wide as the mat and just shift your weight here. Rock the shoulders out. Now, if your neck is comfortable, we can add to it. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to roll my head to the right and I'm going to bring my ear down, but I'm not going to go far first. I'm going to inhale, press up, exhale. I'm going to start small. We're still warming up the body. And then maybe I can go a little lower. And I bring the breath with me as I go. And maybe I can open up my knees a little wider and get a little more space. And I breathe in and I breathe out and I control the movement with my intention. Now, when I come back up, pause. Now, I'm going to use my block. If you don't have a block, you're just going to take one hand, one potato, two potato, because you want to have some space between your head and the chest and the belly and the mat. And you're just going to rest right here. So little pressure. Now, notice where your shoulders are and see if you can bring them back and soften through the sitting bones and bringing your heels and your tailbone maybe a little closer together. And then if you're comfortable, you can roll your head, but you don't have to. Just a little releasing here. Pause. Notice any place that feels uncomfortable and soften it. Work less, gain more. Slide that right arm forward and teepee it. Take the left hand and swing it to the back. And just breathe here. And then switch. So left hand teepees, right hand rests back. Soften the shoulder. Good. Slide both arms forward. Teepee them. Slide back a little more. And then rest your hands down. Take a breath. Now bring your hands back to frame the face. If you're comfortable, you can remove your prop. You can bring your head right to the mat, but you don't have to. You decide what's most comfortable for you. So if you can bring yourself all the way to the mat, that's great, but you don't have to go there. So this is a great reset pose. Make sure your shoulders are back and you breathe. Tuck your chin and we're going to roll. So we're going to roll back, inhale, lift up like a wave and ripple the spine with the chin soft, no clenching of the jaw, eyes soft, ears are soft. I want to move the spine and release any spot that's tight or tense. Bring the breath up on the lift, exhale on the release. And then one more at your own rate. Pick your child's pose version. So I can keep my block under my head and bring both arms behind. That's going to sink the shoulders, so you're going to get a U shape. Good. Slide your arms out to the side as wide as you can just for a moment. Slide your elbows in and press up as a unit. Now move your knees because we've been here for a while. So I want to go into a variation of a pigeon pose. If you are to do a true pigeon, you bring your leg forward and it comes here. This does not work anatomically for me. I don't do it. I do an earth pose. So I bring my knee forward and I slide my leg back and I start high and I breathe. Now, as I open up the hip, if I want to, I can rock it. But why go there if it doesn't work for me? I can come down onto my forearms and breathe here. I can take the foot and then slide it slightly like a letter A, so I have a little more space, and then the hip will sink down a little bit. You're going to feel that right in the buttock, so don't overdo it. You can extend your arms and bring your head all the way to the mat, but you may not go there today, and there's nothing to say you have to do that. Slide your hands back, and maybe you come up a little taller. Move your head and neck. Take a breath. Now I'm going to slide my weight into this right hip and swing my legs around and measure it. So I can feel when I sit. Do you feel how the hip feels a little different? Even if you don't know it, I'm telling you it is. Then we switch to the other side. Now, start small. If you've never done this before, why create an injury? You have an injury, then you have to go into recovery. So I slide that leg, extended leg, my foot is flat. I start high. If I want, I can rock. I don't have to rock. You can absolutely use a block. If you need something to lift up, you can also hold here on any kind of height that you need. And if you want, you scooch that leg out a little bit. You can come down onto your forearms, take a breath. Shoulders back and down, take a breath. If you want, you can extend it all the way down, but you don't have to. You're going to feel this in the back of your thighs. And you breathe. You can slide your hands and bring yourself up a little higher. Shoulders back and down. Take a breath. Make sure your neck's not tight. And then roll into that hip and you bring yourself down and you slide your legs long. Now, if you anatomically have the kind of body where your elbow can come straight, as if this was my leg, this would come straight out, that's great. My body doesn't do that, and I don't want a knee injury because then I can't do this. So I want to do a yoga practice, bring your feet in, that promotes longevity and endurance. So I practice the yoga that works for me. Good. Swing. So my legs are going to go to the right. I'm going to take my right leg. I'm going to bring it right into the arch. This is deer pose. And I want to sit. Now see if your hips feel more stable here. Your goal is to get your shoulders in line with your hips. Oftentimes this happens. So we want to soften it, adjust to where you need it to be, and you breathe. Now, when you're in pain, you have to ask yourself, what am I holding there? So you take a breath and you soften it. Now, this would be a yin yoga pose. And in a yin yoga class, you would hold this for 5 to 7 minutes. And then you roll your eyes. You can definitely roll your eyes. Then the body then does this. It has to soften into it. Switch, but before we switch, we're gonna rock a little bit. And then switch to the other side. So I had someone once say to me, came one time, when will I be flexible? You're not going to be flexible in one class. That's why yoga is a practice. It's a practice of accepting your body where it is on a given day, and you breathe. And over time, things change because you're learning to move within the space that is your own body, and you breathe. And when you're in this pose, see where you get a referred pain action reaction. So when I'm here, I feel it here. So I've got to think about, what am I holding in this? And then I bring it up and I rock again and I see how I feel. And I bring my soles of my feet together and I see how this is. And I celebrate the little shifts. Let the leg be long. Cross the right foot over. I'm going to flex the bottom foot, point the top and twist. Move your neck, shoulder down. And then switch to the other side. Good, come back to center. Now we're going to take this to the floor. And we're going to do threading the needle. Now, when I come down and I rest right here, and here I am, right back where we, remember this? When you bring your leg here. Now, I'm going to rest my hands either on my ribs. I can bring it out to the letter T. I can come to cactus arms. Here I am. I'm in a variation of a pigeon. Now, I can do this here because there's no weight on my joint. So I rock it. I soften the shoulders. Now, if I want more, I can take that standing foot and I lift it up and I press into that pose. But if I am even more interested, I can slide my arms through and create a stretch, lift that extended foot to the sky. I can rock it or not, soften the jaw. If this doesn't work for you, then you don't do it. And then release that. Let it come down slowly. Rock it again. Lift that, so right knee in, just a gentle tug. Foot is flexed. And lift up to the sky, point and flex. Roll it around. Reverse your circle. Good, shake the leg. Shake, 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 shake. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to bring it to the thigh and slide it down. My elbow is going to come and support me. My shoulder is going to come down. I'm going to open up that leg. My other hand is supporting the outside of my left thigh, so my left thigh doesn't flop out to the side. And I stretch it here. So here's a variation of a lunge. Breathe. And then bring it up. And bring it in and hug it. And just rock a little bit right here, side to side. Come right back into your rocking pigeon and see how that feels now. And then release that leg and stretch it long. Long, long, long on the mat. So I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to stretch it behind me and take my left leg and I'm going to stretch like somebody's using me as a Gumby. And then my left arm is going to come out to the side right by the shoulder. Take a breath. Soften it. Bring it up. Rock your legs. Feel your hip flexors. Feel the bony prominences right here at your hip. See if they feel different. All right, cross over, opposite side. So my arms can stay on my ribs. They can come out cactus arms. They can come to the letter T. You pick what works for you. It's more important that the shoulders stay down. Good. Now you can stay right here. This could be enough. If you want more, you step into that standing foot and you bring it in. You flex it here. If you want more, you slide your hands through like you're threading a needle. And you can also bring your foot up if you choose. You can rock or not. The shoulders are down. Work less. Try not to pull. Soften the jaw. Release. Bring it down. Rock it. Good, stretch that leg, so I'm gonna fold it in, big stretch, lift it up, stretch it out, point and flex. Roll it around if I need to at the ankle, reverse the circle. Good. Extend that leg, so I'm gonna take my left leg, my left arm, stretch it out, right arm comes straight out, and I stretch it. Take a breath. Soften it. Let it go. Don't pull. Good. Bring that leg in and then just rock it a little bit from side to side. See how that feels. Both knees in, little circle here. And then reverse when you're ready. Good. Come right up into your happy baby. Get the benefit of an inversion. Feel how this rocking motion is massaging your back. Good. Bring that right foot over the left, and now just like we did seated, I'm going to point that top foot, stretch, bring the legs a little bit, but don't pull so much that you can't stand the pain. Just soften it, sink the shoulders, relax the jaw, and then release and switch to the other side, big stretch. Release, rock it out. Tap the knees. That just means I'm going to take my hands and place them on the kneecap, fingers toward the toes, and I'm going to roll it around. Maybe I'm going to have a bigger circle, get a little more of a pelvic tip. And then when you're ready, that's when you reverse. So do at least 3, but if you need to go to 6 or more, go for it. And then one more, come right up into your happy baby. See how your back body feels. So we're working the hips, but we're also helping the lower back and the space between the shoulder blades. Bring the feet to the floor. Heels, or if I can, line my fingertips up so that I'm almost in line with the heels. Shoulders are down, so lift the top and come right up into a bridge. But I'm not going high. I'm maybe a fist of space. I'm starting small and I'm easing into that space between the shoulder blades. And if I'm comfortable, I can lift a little higher. Don't kink the neck. Keep the breath moving. Soften it. On the next inhale, I lift maybe a little bit, and then I roll and ripple the spine from the shoulder blades all the way slowly down. And pause. Slide the hands behind the head. Lift that upper body, just rock it a little bit. Just a little space here. I'm not pulling the neck. Pause. Rock the legs. Good. Release the hands straight up to the sky and rock here. See if you can open up a little more space between the shoulders. If you want, you can invert your hands, but you don't have to. Good. Release into your full body stretch. Take a big breath. Measure your arms and your legs and feel like you're just one big rubber band. And wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers and take a yawn and soften it. Bring the knees into your chest, rock. glue my legs together, flex my feet. I'm going to bring my arms out. I can do palms up or palms down. Now, when I rotate palms down, you notice how the shoulder blade or the shoulder capsule kind of rolls it forward. So that may not be good for you. So you decide what works. And I'm just going to rock it from side to side without lifting my shoulders. Soften the jaw. Relax the neck. Little twist. You can go a little lower, perhaps, but don't go beyond what's comfortable for you. Nobody says you have to go there. And wherever you are, one more on each side. Bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. Rock a little bit. See how this feet roll the palms down and up. Just kind of resting and using the floor to roll. Good. Rock your legs a little more. Bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe rock the hips like a boat. Good. Slide your legs long, go into your full body stretch. Take a big breath. Now, we're quickly coming into our Shavasana, which is the best part of the whole practice. So if you need to rock some more, if you need to come up into an inversion, if you need to do some twists, if you need to do whatever you need to do, that's your choice. Put your socks on, get your jackets. If you have a prop underneath your head, feel free. Make yourself comfortable and warm. Find a place in your Shavasana that's comfortable for you. So if it's not comfortable for you to stay for a while in a position with your legs extended because it puts too much stress in your lower back, then bring your knees up. Try not to cross your feet. Try not to cross your fingers. So you don't want to stop energy flow. You're trying to rest in a place with as few constrictions as possible. And as you rest right here and you breathe in and out, do a little assessment. How do I feel different? Where do I feel more open? What do I notice about myself? Because sometimes in a practice, because I know I've done it myself, you do something and you're like, yeah, not a fan, don't like it, blah, 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 blah. But if you instead say to yourself, yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge, but now I feel 1% different. That 1% counts. Bring your attention to where you are now. That's different than how you were when you came in. What are you more aware of now? How connected are you to your own body mechanics? Where do you consciously or unconsciously hold stress that you can say to yourself, yeah, I'm aware that I do that, but now I'm going to be aware. I'm going to place my attention to the spot that I do hold stress, and I'm going to shift it. Because then you move yourself into acceptance. So instead of going into criticism and self-judgment, can we go into acceptance that we are who we are and that's enough? Are there things that we can change and shift and become aware of and put our attention to? Yes. And then rather than focusing on all the things that are lacking in a life, think about all the ways in which your life is rich. All the ways in which you have the gift of abundance. It doesn't mean it's a life without a challenge or sadness or grief. It's about, no one said that everybody's life's going to be joyful 100% of the time. Nobody said that. Everyone's going to have the balance of black and white, light and dark, happy, sad, joyful, grief. But how do you move yourself through it so you get to the place where you're balanced more than you're out of balance? So as you rest here on the floor, celebrate the gift of balance. You moved, you shifted, you opened your hips, you created movement, you created length and flexibility. So you have strong legs, strong hips, strong knees, strong body. You promote longevity. So if we focus on the 4 A's that Deepak Chopra talks about, where do we place our attention the majority of a day? Are we aware of when we focus on things that are negative rather than positive, or something that takes us out of our path? Can we accept the things we can change and let go of the things we cannot change? And do we bring ourselves back to gratitude, thankfulness, and abundance? So you did the work, and now you let go of the need to be in charge of the outcome. I am blissfully free from the attachment to the outcome. Another of Deepak Chopra's phrases. I breathe in and I breathe out into this space where I am at this moment on this day, and I celebrate one thing. It could be as simple as, I woke up today. I am breathing in and out. I completed an hour practice. I spent time in a pause. I let go of, name it. I relaxed. I created a calm but reflective mind in a body that has a calm and relaxed heart, in a body that's strong and flexible, in a place where I am still. The hardest thing in any day is to come to stillness. So as you begin now to deepen your breath, give yourself a compliment, give yourself an affirmation. Louise Hay says that you need to fill your life with affirmations that fill you up just like food nourishes you. I am strong, I am flexible, I am at ease, I am moving to a new place. Could be a new physical place, it could be a new place in your thought. I am prosperous, I am eternally young. Doesn't matter your age. I am vibrant. I am healthy. I am free. I am my own person. And with that, bring yourself into a full body stretch and stretch into the space. Big yawn, big sigh, big stretch. Bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. Bring your arms and your legs up and shake it out. Shake and shake and shake and shake and bring yourself back to yourself so that you feel vibrant, energetic, whole. And then roll to whatever side calls to you. And when you rest there, just make sure you support your head and neck. And when you lift yourself up, if you have not already done so, lift yourself up with a lightness of being. And then sweep and gather anything else. So as we are an electromagnetic being, we have this electromagnetic force. We want to feel that whatever we need will come to us with the intention that is pure. And we inhale and we lift up and we exhale and we bring it down. And then we seal the practice. So we bring one palm and connect it to the other. And we connect top to bottom, right to left, front to back, north to south, east to west, and we let it rest right at the heart. Because this is where you are home. Namaste. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Please drink water, eat plenty of protein, take a nap. Have a great day. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate your coming out.